What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Transfer Tuesday. And Southgate has announced his provisional squad for the Euros. Bamford been left out, which I'm very disappointed about. I might do a separate video on this, but just as a quick note, I am very disappointed that Bamford is not involved at all. He's had a great season from a team that's just been promoted, and he's like, I think it was the 5th or 6th top scorer in the league for a team that's just come up, and how good Leeds are to watch as well. Like, it baffles me that he's not in the squad. So Bamford is a very disappointing miss out for me, and I don't understand why more people aren't talking about it. So, but look, he's not going to make everyone happy. There's always going to be people unhappy, but I think Bamford, I would have him before the likes of Rashford and Sterling this season on form alone. But we have this tendency in England to just put players in starting lineups and ahead of other players, even if they don't deserve it, just because they got a bigger name. And you have to do it on form for me, and I don't get why Bamford is not involved. There's a few others as well that I might touch upon in another video, but just wanted to put that out there before we get going. But this week's transfer gossip, got quite a few this week. This one coming from caught offside, Eden Hazard, Real Madrid. He's obviously a lot of injuries since he's gone to Madrid. I don't know what his relationship is like with the fans. There was obviously that footage of him that came out the other week after the semi-final with Madrid. And he was talking to the Chelsea players after the game and kind of celebrating with them that Chelsea's got into the final. So I could see him going back to Chelsea. If not, I do think he will leave Madrid because it's not worked out there for him. So even if he doesn't go to Chelsea, I do think that he will leave. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does go back to Chelsea. So that is the first one from caught offside. This one from the hard tackle, and it is Keita at Liverpool, potentially going to Atletico. I've read that this is it's already done, really. I think he's been falling out with a team in Klopp at Liverpool. Fell out of form. He's behind the likes of Jones, Wijnaldum, who's obviously off as well now, but he's definitely not in first contention for spots, and he's had quite a few injuries in that since he's moved there as well. So Atletico Madrid, I'm hearing are getting him. So that's Keita from Liverpool. This one from iFootball, Bissouma at Brighton. Liverpool and Arsenal are interested in him. 40 million asking price that they're looking for. 2 years left on his contract at Brighton. I think Arsenal have obviously got Partey, similar player in this similar position. I'm not saying that they're equal in terms of ability, but Bissouma's very underrated in my opinion. So I think he'd be a good buy for a lot of clubs. I'd like him at United myself. From what I've seen of him, I think he could do a job. Out of them two, I think he's more likely to go to Liverpool because Arsenal have got Partey. But they might try and get him for a backup. But I don't think that he's going to be happy just being a backup and not getting the minutes that he's been getting at Brighton. So I personally think that Liverpool would be a better option for him. 2 years on his contract, as I said, at Brighton. And apparently Man City are also possibly interested in him as well. So a number of clubs there. This one from Transfer Market Web, and Gremio have signed Douglas Costa from Juventus, who's had a lot of injuries, I think, been out for a while with an injury at Juventus, fell out of form and favour. I remember back in a few years, he was starting a lot for Juventus, and he started a lot for Bayern Munich before. And before that, I think he was at Shakhtar Donetsk, I believe it was. So he used to be a starter a lot. And it hasn't really happened for him over the coming years, of the last few years. So he's gone to Gremio, apparently, Brazil. And I think that it's a good move for him because he probably will be a starter there. He's a big name. And yeah, I think it's a sensible move for him. So he's gone to Gremio from Juventus. This one from Sportsmole, and Liverpool and Barcelona want Tielemans, apparently. Obviously, he scored the winner in the FA Cup final against Chelsea, a wonderful goal. A great player, I think. Tielemans, very underrated. Not always consistent per game, but majority of the time, 8 out of 10 games, you're going to get performances out of him. So an underrated player, I think. Liverpool and Barcelona want him. I don't know if I could see him going to either of them. I mean, he could go to Barcelona. It wouldn't surprise me, but I think at the moment, how it's going with Leicester, I think it suits him better to stay there. Obviously, they're not a bigger club as Barcelona, but as of recent years, they're winning more than Barcelona. So, look, I think he should stay with Leicester. But if big teams come in for him, he might be tempted to go. And he might be getting a better wage. So, the Liverpool and Barcelona in for him, though. This one from Transfer Market Web. Buffon apparently wants to go to Real Madrid as a backup for Courtois. Kind of like a mentor role. made his debut in the year I was born, 1990, Buffon. He's been around forever, it seems. A legend of the game, arguably the best goalkeeper ever. I wouldn't have him, I don't think he would be my best ever keeper, but he'd definitely be in the top three probably. So Buffon potentially to Madrid. Koulibaly, this one from Tribal Football to Liverpool. Apparently they're chasing him. United have been linked with him a lot over the last year. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're still trying to chase him down, but Liverpool apparently in for him, and it looks likely that they might get him. So obviously they've struggled a lot this season with Van Dijk and Gomez being out. Liverpool, they've played Henderson at centre-back, who to be fair did a job for a little bit when he played there, but obviously he's been out injured as well. So they've had a lot of injury problems. They've had Williams and Phillips there a lot, who haven't had a lot of football. And so, yeah, I think that considering they've got players out, Van Dijk and Gomez, and how long they're going to be out, I wouldn't be surprised if they get Koulibaly just for more options, and they'll probably loan out the likes of Phillips and Williams for next season if they do bring Koulibaly in. So that wouldn't surprise me if Koulibaly does go to Liverpool from Napoli. He's linked with a lot of clubs, Koulibaly, so I don't see him staying at Napoli, to be honest. The next one from Hard Tackle, and it is Giroux. Apparently AC Milan are interested in trying to chase him down. He's not been playing a lot for Chelsea. A very underrated player in the Premier League history for me. Usually a bench player, but he's always effective when he comes off the bench. He's always scoring goals. So for me, I would snap him up if I could. I'm surprised there's not more clubs interested in him. I do think he is very underrated for what he does. He proves it year in, year out for me, coming off the bench and scoring goals, but he's not really been coming off the bench a lot as much as he has in previous years for Chelsea. So if I was him, I would look to move, because I think other teams will give him more minutes and potentially start him more. So AC Milan interested in Giroux. We got ESPN.com. Barcelona trying to get Morata from Juventus. He's had a pretty good season, but I believe I read some stats on him earlier. Looked pretty good, the stats for this year for him with Juventus, on loan from Atletico Madrid. I don't know if Simeone fancies him, if he's on loan, if he wants to get rid of him. So Barcelona could be a sensible move for him. I don't think he would suit Barcelona though, in terms of just how they play. Because he's more like an old-fashioned like number 9 for me. He like holds the ball up, he's strong. Technically he's good. And he's quite good with his feet for a tall guy, but he's more of an old centre forward for me, and I don't think he would suit Barcelona's playing style. So I can't personally see that one happening, but if he's out of favour at Atletico, they're just going to loan him out again anyway. So I would look to try and get a permanent move to somewhere where you're going to get more minutes and start more games. So Barcelona are apparently interested. And next one, Sports Mole, Pau Torres, heavily linked with United, has been for a while now. Villarreal, obviously, we got them in the Europa League final tomorrow. Very excited for that one. And it'd be interesting, I think he will play because he always starts for them. So be watching him closely tomorrow. I haven't watched a lot of him, if I'm honest, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays tomorrow. 50 million release clause though, so it's not a cheap one. Apparently Napoli are also interested in him as well. So we've got a bit of competition if we are serious about getting him and bringing him in. I would like to see it. But United don't instill a lot of faith or give me a lot of confidence over a number of years now in transfer markets, because we don't do the business properly. So, but we are linked with him, but a 50 million release clause. And then lastly this week from the Hard Tackle, Kieran Trippier being linked with United and Everton. We do need a right back, either as a backup or someone that's going to start ahead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We've got Brandon Williams, obviously, who hasn't played a lot this year. Probably should have played more minutes for me, Williams, but Solskjaer hasn't fancied him. Still a young player, but I would have given him more minutes this year. Brandon Williams, but Solskjaer hasn't. So I do think we need a backup or someone, even if Aaron Wan-Bissaka becomes a backup, which I don't see happening. I think if we do bring someone in, Aaron Wan-Bissaka will still be the starter, and the one we bring in will be the backup. So look, we've been linked with Aarons from Norwich as well, who looks quite good. Trippier, I would welcome him to United, but personally I would probably start him ahead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Defensively, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is by far a better player defensively, but going forward and set pieces and things, Trippier it's not even close. So I would welcome Trippier to United, but I'm not too confident that it would happen. I just don't see United getting that sort of deal done. So, but United and Everton linked with him. and that one's from the hard tackle. Hope you enjoyed it this week, guys. I'll be back in the next few days, as I said, with my Premier League team of the season, so look out for that. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Europa League final game as well, guys. I'll see you then.